welcome to ALVR News. Today we'll be providing live coverage of the Georgia gun law discussion. Lillian Wolfson is an NRA member and gun law supporter from Georgia. Geraldine Hanford is the founder of a prestigious anti-gun association in Connecticut. We'll be debating the Safe Carry Protection Act, which would allow residents with permits to take guns into places such as some bars, airports, churches, and school zones.
Thank you, Mr. Robeson. My position toward the proposed gun law in Georgia, Safe Carry Protection Act, is that it's a progressive step towards the future. I mean, if we can have protection everywhere we go, what else could we ask for? Now, people are skeptical because they're saying they're in bars, the guns, airports, churches, schools even, but it's only people in power, giving them more power to help the citizens of the world conduct properly. I mean, if you're in a bar and it's ladies' night and you're a single mom like myself, you're just hanging out with your girls, got a babysitter, hanging out, and a fella is approaching you, giving you attention that's not quite reciprocated, what are you going to do? If he keeps on coming over and giving you apple martinis, and he's not taking no for an answer, you say you got a pistol, he gonna leave you alone. Simple as that. Problems are solved. Next thing we know, there'll be no more hungry children.
Well, I think it's simply a horrendous law, and you're saying that it's important for us to be protected against terrorists and such, and I think that a certain degree of protection is important, but from the police and people who know what they're doing, whose job it is to carry a firearm. But giving guns to the public, that's extraordinarily dangerous. There's no telling who these people really are at heart. If they're given a gun, people out there could be very sick, and if they have access to a firearm, things like Newtown could happen anywhere. They could happen in airports and bars now, and they could just become so much more common.
A problem? I would say the problem in this nation is the security, and that would only be improved if we were to enforce this law. For if everyone were armed, we'd have the ideal nation. As in our schools, well, the public school system is a total mess, so a little gun enforcement would be a positive influence. And for school shootings, we can take down that little boy or girl with their gun and their crazy liberal ideals and visions for the future in a second if teachers and principals were armed. With places such as airports covering our country, how are we supposed to protect ourselves when we know that security man doesn't have a gun on him, but if you could bring your own, think of the wonders it could do. We could stop terrorism at the source.
There have been 74 school shootings in the past 18 months. Gun control is clearly a problem. And I think that so much of that problem is that these people, members of the NRA and these lawmakers, are so selfish in their love and attachment to their guns that they find ways to pass off tragedies as inevitable rather than actually trying to address the situation. And I think that this selfishness is the problem. They're too selfish to actually try and make the nation a safer place.
In the subject of gun control, and guns in general, I believe that a law that would help better our nation and the people within it would be guns in more places. Hospitals, baptisms, birthday parties. We got to keep our children safe. And if we don't have safety, then what do we have? That's the real question.
Okay, that's absurd. I would propose a law that would require intense background checks on all future gun buyers and also prohibiting the carrying of a gun in any place other than, for example, a shooting range or just keeping it stowed away in your home.
Newtown was a tragic situation. All the members of the NRA were terribly devastated that weapons were used in such a way to harm innocent children and take their lives. But I believe that those children are in heaven now, and they have nothing to worry about. It was an awful situation, but it has nothing to do with our guns.
And thank you, ladies. That looks like all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank Ms. Wolfson and Ms. Hamford for joining us on our network, and to all of our viewers, have a good night.